Good evening, Internet. Shroom here. Tonight I'm heading back to Moto to play another Modern League. And last week we did play a Modern League and got a bit smacked around by some Freestrider Lookout Valakut decks. But tonight we're going to take a bite out of crime. What do I mean by that? Let's take a look. So we're playing an Esper control deck that is sort of like protection tribal, maybe. We're starting off with a main board Leyline of Sanctity's full play set. So our opponents are not going to be able to commit crimes against us by thoughtseizing us or targeting us with Relic of Progenitus. Also, burn spells will not be able to target our face. I'm a fan of this card, and we're running it in the main board because I think it's actually good. It shuts down Grief Scam, thoughtseize, all the horrible things that people try to do to you in Modern. They won't be able to do to us. It's easy to board out the whole playset and replace it with relevant cards after game one if it's not good. We're coupling this with all of the threats in our deck have protection. We are running 6 of 2 white creatures that have pro red and black, which, if you weren't aware, a lot of the removal in Modern is red and black. I would say like most of it easily is of those 2 colors. So there will be a lot of Modern decks that will not be able to remove these creatures and will not be able to block these creatures because all of the removal spells and potential blockers will be red or black. So we've got the full playset of Sanctifier and en-Vec and a couple of Auriok Champions. I like the Sanctifier and en-Vecs a little bit better because they are also graveyard hate against black and red decks, but the Auriok Champions can gain us a little bit of life here and there, which can also be relevant. And we're also running a full playset of Etched Champions. This is how we're going to win the game. We're going to get in with unblockable creatures that our opponents can't remove because they all have protection. The Etched Champion is a 3-mana 2/2 that has protection from all colors as long as we control 3 or more artifacts, which we're going to do with, we have some artifacts in our deck that we're running. We're also running a full 8 of bridges in our mana base. So all we really need to have is 2 bridges, plus the Etched Champion that creates metalcraft, giving the Etched Champions protection from everything. I do like the fact that the bridges are also indestructible, which means that we're not going to get pawned out. It also means that we're not going to get blown out by some sort of instant speed play where they destroy an artifact and all of a sudden our Etched Champion loses protection and they're able to block it and destroy it. Of course, the problem with these creatures is that they're all small, so it means that our clock is going to be slow. We're trying to get around this by running some equipment, including some swords. We've got the Sword of Fire and Ice, which is probably, honestly, just the best one. It draws cards, does extra damage, it kills stuff, you know what it does. But I wanted to mix up the sword package a little bit so that we can cover other colors that we aren't naturally protected from. The Sword of Feast and Famine gives us pro black and green. If it gets through, it makes our opponent discard and we get to untap all our lands, which, it's decent. It's not as good as Fire and Ice, but it does give us pro-green so that we can slip our Auriok Champions and Sanctifier and en-Vecs past all of those green blockers. And the Sword of Truth and Justice gives our creatures pro-white and blue and just beefs them up, basically. So white is probably the 3rd most common color of removal that you'll see in Modern with all of those prismatic endings and leyline bindings. We want a sword that will protect our creatures from white so that they can get around that removal as well. So that's the basic plan of our deck. We're going to protect ourselves. We're going to not get victimized by crimes because, we're keeping it legit here. We're just an Esper control deck, totally on the level. And we're going to beat our opponents down with unblockable creatures with swords. We're also packing one of cranial plating. We're not going to obviously abuse this as much as like a true affinity deck, but if it gives like +4/+0, because of our artifact lands and other artifacts, etc., that should be good enough to really accelerate our clock. And we have one of Shadow Spear, which we can also fetch out with our Urza Sagas. We do have 2 Urza Sagas in the mana base. We can fetch out the Shadow Spear. It can fetch out Pithing Needle. It can fetch out Nihil Spellbomb or a Welding Jar to help protect our other artifacts. So we're not all in on the Urza Saga. In fact, one of the goals of this deck really is to prevent generating things that our opponents can target. So I'm not even sure that we'll create constructs. Of course, we might. We'll have that option, and it might be a good thing to do in certain matchups. But on the whole, we're not really looking to do that with Urza Saga. We're more interested in tutoring up our artifacts to our side. And we have one of Sigarda's Aid in our deck just to let us play equipment at instant speed and get around having to pay for equip costs. And the rest of our deck is interaction. We're a Esper deck, so we've got access to lots of good interaction, like a couple of Fatal Push, like a Get Lost, like a Long Goodbye, like a Shielder's Edict, like a Void Rend for removal. Also, a couple of No More Lies are just really good counterspells that really like the card deck. The card this deck hates the most is Shieldred's Edict. So I considered running Spell Snares instead of No More Lies. But tonight we're going to try No More Lies. This actually will be the first time of me testing this deck with counterspells in the main board. And we've got a 4 of thoughtseize, so plenty of good interaction to keep our opponent's board under control. And then they won't be able to deal with our threats because they'll all be protected. Another thing about having protection is that our creatures make excellent blockers too. Like our pro-red guys can just block burn creatures all day long, Monastery Swift Spears and Soulscar mages, etc. We're not quite as good against the flyers like the slick shot show-offs, but that's where our fatal pushes and other removal spells will come in. Total of 23. We also got a 2 of Profane Tutor just for a bit of card selection. I think Profane Tutor is a good choice for a deck like this, as opposed to like card advantage pieces like card draw spells, because we really are more about just finding the right piece. We're a bit toolboxy, and really, a lot of the times, if we can just stick one of our threats, our opponents won't be able to deal with it, and that'll be the way that we close out the game. So Profaning Tutor will also often pick like an Etched Champion or perhaps a sword, but it can hit whatever we need to. It's a good choice for this deck. I'm just a fan of this spell, actually. I think it's really good. Total of 23 lands on the deck. There are the 8 aforementioned bridge lands, as well as 2 Urza Sagas, fetches, shocks, some basics. Total of 3 basics, 2 plains, and 1 swamp. No basic islands. We're really kind of just splashing blue. The sideboard contains a couple of Rested Peace for graveyards. We already have the 1 of Nihil Spellbomb in our main, as well as the Sanctifier Invective, which can hit on graveyards. Heliod's Intervention can mass remove artifacts and enchantments. I'm trying out Confounding Conundrum against the Valakut decks. We'll see how this does. I think we're already going to be good against the Lookout decks, because the thing that's really scary about them is when they commit crime after crime, turn after turn, and like every single turn they're activating the crime ability of the Lookout. We already have that kind of covered with our main board and our ley lines, so we're already really slowing them down from getting that terrifying, Valakut online. But I think Confounding Conundrum, we're going to try it out tonight, see how it is. It might be good. Another thing that we have in our sideboard is a little bit of a juke. Like sometimes we'll be playing against decks that aren't red or black. In most cases, those decks with removal suite will be white. So we have the protection from white posse in the sideboard. We've got the 3 of Phyrexian Crusaders. Oh, they're infect creatures. But that's okay. They're pro-white. So hopefully they won't get removed. And maybe we can infect our opponents to death. We also have the 1 of Turok, who's a 2/1 pro-white that we can kick to just make our opponent discard cards. And that can be good, just, even if we're not dealing with a lot of white removal, just to make our opponents discard 2 cards at random by kicking it with 3 black mana pips. Got a couple of Dovin's Veto against control and combos. Got a couple of Teferi Time Revelers, also good against control and good against, like, Cascade decks, etc. 1 Vanishing Verse is a versatile spell that can hit all kinds of permanents and just exiles them. 2 mana instant speed, and we have a 2nd Pithing Needle in our sideboard. Good against the 1 Ring, lots and lots of other stuff as well. So that's the plan. We're going to take a bite out of crime. We're not going to be victimized by those lookouts. That's really the deck that we're sort of aiming to not die to, is like the Valakut decks. We're going to have untouchable creatures that are just going to get in there with our swords and spears and cranial platings and kill our opponent and gain us value as they do so. So yeah, let's see how this does in a modern league. I think it'll be fun. I think it's good against the Valakut decks, although the thing about Valakut decks is that the Valakut is a colorless source, of course. So when it actually gets online, the Valakut triggers will be able to kill our creatures, which is unfortunate, but our plan is to basically try to make sure that doesn't happen by cutting off their crime triggers, and hopefully with the sideboard Confounding Conundrums to really slow them down. Another thing about this deck is that it's very short on threats. We only have a total of 10 threats. We've got our 4 Etched Champions, we've got our 6 white pro creatures. So hopefully we'll just draw these threats, but games might go a little long if we don't draw our threats in the early game. Hopefully this won't be too much of an issue, because by the time we get them down, hopefully we have enough of these guys to get 1 or 2 down early, and hopefully they'll be able to close out the game before things get out of control. Another thing is, of course, we are running 8 just always tap lands in our bridges, which means our mana base can be a little clunky at times, but I think it's not a huge problem as long as you have good interaction to play like all the way up the curve, which we do. So let's run it through a league, see how we do. In testing, this deck has done okay. It's certainly interesting and fun to play, I will give it that. So let's hop right into the league, and if you want to support me and you like off-meta, off-kilter MTG content, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. All right, first match we're going to be on the draw against Cody B1127. We've got a Leyline. We got double Leyline. So it's kind of like a multi-6 already. We've only got 1 land in our opener. Man, I think this is unfortunately a mulligan. That's a drag. Alright, this is a much better draw. We have a Leyline, we have a sword, we have a champion, we have a tutor, and we've got a bridge, so that's a great hand. We'll keep this. We'll bottom one of our lands, probably, or possibly the sword. We could be in a little trouble if they have a turn 1 Ragavan. Gee. We can draw another land, right? We're on the draw. I think I'm going to bottom a fetch land. And we will start with Leyline on the battlefield. Island Preordain. Scryed both to the top. That's a little scary. Alright, let's play our bridge. Windswept Heath. Go. Alright, I think we're going to suspend Profane Tutor. We err on the side of fetching white because we do have so many like double white spells in our deck. So they could just be blue-white control, I guess? Guy reached Sanitarium. Teferi. Bounces my Leyline. Okay. Yeah, it looks like they are control. So let's thoughtseize. Teferi, Solitude, Supreme Verdict, Jace. Well, once we get our Etched Champion going, Supreme Verdict is the only thing that can actually deal with it. Alright, it's blue-white control. This isn't a great matchup for us, but we'll just have to deal, I guess. There's Jace the Perfected Mind. So my my Profane Tutor is shut off by Teferi. Just fetch. It's gonna be tough for us to... yeah. Okay, this is interesting. No, I cannot cast it. Alright, that's pretty bad. Let's play a sword. I guess. Doesn't do anything. They can just bounce it with Jace. Or with Teferi. Oh, they're a crab deck? And Ashiok, too. Okay, they're like a Super Friends deck. So let's say -3. Let's push the crab. Let's play a Sanctifier en-Vec. I don't think we're gonna win this game. Because this Jace is gonna give them a bunch of value. We have no answer at the moment. Another bridge wouldn't be bad, because that way we could play Etched Champion and they couldn't. And it would stay pro everything. Solitude? No, just Prismatic Ending. Okay, there's another bridge. That's good. Gaia Reach Sanitarium. I'll discard one of my ley lines. Okay, Sheoldred's Edict actually is pretty good as well. So we got a champ. Oh, it could bounce my lands? That's BS, man. Teferi can bounce my other land? Wow. So they have 2 unknown cards in hand. We'll grab a swamp. Alright, well, let's just kill one of those planeswalkers. They sacked Jace. They played another Jace and just... what? Okay, so their plan is mill. Alright. They milled me. So... control A. Here we want our pro-white stuff. Our pro-black-red stuff actually doesn't do anything. 4, 5, 6. The ley lines actually don't do anything either. We definitely want Pithy Needle. Vanishing Verse can kill the Jaces. Dovin's Vetoes. Anything else? Teferis of our own. Yeah, I think this is what we got. I don't know. This doesn't really do anything. I think it's a mulligan. We'll need to draw some lands. But it's got a lot of dead cards. It's got Long Goodbye and Thoughtseize. I think I'm keeping this. We're going to need to get a little lucky to win this. I'll bottom Fatal Push. Alright, I think I'll go Godless Shrine. Thoughtseize. We don't have a Raffine's Tower in this deck. Preordained Teferi Prismatic Ending. I have a Long Goodbye for Teferi. But I think I want to take it anyway. Makes him draw another one. Need to draw land. No. Let's Thoughtseize. Prismatic Ending. Alright. We got Plains Double Flooded Strand. Veto, but I have no land. Alright. Well, I can cycle this Spellbomb to draw a card next turn. Come on, deck. They bind a land. Prismatic Ending on my Spellbomb. Alright, guess I'll get rid of their graveyard. Their hand is Plains plus Unknown. Okay, there we go. That's a good draw. Grab a Watery Grave. So they're doing like Field of Ruin, Ashiok shenanigans. I don't have a basic land, a basic island, that is. Unfortunately. Well, let's get our Urza Saga going on. Crab. I think we'll kill the crab. Etched Champion. I think we want to play our Etched Champion. Let's get a Pithy Needle naming Teferi Time Raveler. Or Field of Ruin, or Jace. Let's do Jace. Oh, I didn't make a construct. Oops. I don't play Urza Saga very much. Alright, well, let's suspend Profane Tutor. And attack. Solitude. Yep. Okay. Yep. Really screwed the pooch there. I needed to make a construct. But then they could have solitude the construct. They are out of cards. Yeah, they're using their Field of Ruins to power their crabs very effectively. Marsh Flats. Alright, we're getting milled. I hope they haven't milled my Hallowed Fountain already. That would be a shame. They have. Uh-oh. Probably should have milled in response to the crab trigger. Alright, so what do I get here? Turok? I am dying to the... Okay, there's a Saga. Cast a Turok. Pass and make a construct. Doing a lot of preordaining over there. Wish I had some blue mana. Yeah, we've only got 10 cards left in our library. Nothing to fish out. So... how do I tap this for mana? No, I wanted to tap it for mana. I don't know how to use Urza's Saga. That really sucks. I mean, I doubt we were going to win anyway. We only have 9 cards in our deck, so... that really blows. I could have at least made a construct there. Ugh, I never play Urza's Saga. Another crab. Phyrexian Crusader. proliferate on Turok. I would have had another giant construct if I'd used my Saga properly. Path to Exile, okay. And they get the lifelink in. They're just sitting on 2 fetch lands. I don't know why they don't just crack those. Let's attack. Play our Etched Champ. I don't know why it didn't let me tap Urza's Saga for mana. It should have let me do that. Maybe you have to do that before the search effect goes on the stack? I don't know. That was BS. That would have allowed me to play the sword that's like a turn earlier and equip it. Supreme Verdict, okay. Well, Crusader, it's up to you. Archive Trap. Boo. Boo. Okay, mistakes were made. I mean, our punts made us lose. I don't know that we would have won anyway. We would have had a chance, though, so that's too bad. Round 2 against Somers will be on the play. One lander, but we have thoughtseize and Leyline of Sanctity. We got double thoughtseize. I'm keeping. 23 lands really should be sufficient. Our mana average mana value is like 2.1 or something. It's not very high. On the other hand, we don't really have any way to like really scry for cards or anything. But double thoughtseize should help us, even if we do have a little bit of a slow start. Grief, persist, haha, nice. Cryptic Coat, Teferi. Let's go with Teferi, I guess. Alright, so this is a match where Leyline's good. I hate these swamps. Like, doesn't that look like an island? That's a swamp. Alright, well, we didn't draw land. They cycle their troll. So they can persist their troll, which is a little annoying. We do have a get lost for it. I guess we take it though. We can Pithing Needle, the Cryptic Coat. So their hand is Grief, Cryptic Coat, Shadowy Backstreets, Persist, Unknown. I hate the way that the hand tracker is in Moto. We still don't draw land. We'll just name Cryptic Coat. Alright. It's gonna be one of those games, huh? That's an island. It looks like it's all white. The coloration's all white. Don't like those lands. Grief. Just a 3/2. Menace. Alright, we draw a land, but it's most likely too late already. Guess I'll play it. I don't know, kill something? Profane Tutor? If I Profane Tutor, I'd have to shock. Yeah, this is all bad. This is all very bad. I guess I technically don't have to shock. I could just grab a plains. Sure. We're gonna need a miracle. We take 6. Polluted Delta. So we actually don't have a basic island in this deck because blue is just a splash. Which means I can't kill the Cryptic Coat. I can get Lost the Grief after they attack. Fetch like a Watery Grave or a Hallowed Fountain. Then I can Void Wrenn the Cloak. It won't get countered because it's uncounterable. Alright, let's get Lost the Grief. Alright, we will get a hallowed fountain. We will not shock it and die. Yeah, I want to cast it. What do we want? Probably just another removal spell, right? Probably just another removal spell. We draw Shadow Spear. I could have Edicted and played the Shadow Spear, which would have set up a protected Etched Champion. And they have a Solitude. So, yeah, we're dead. We can only kill one of their threats. Alright, we just went a couple turns without it. Mana. Very unfortunate. So we want Vanishing Verse. We want Rest in Peace. Anything else? Maybe some Teferi and a Veto. What do we lose, though? Welding Jar, probably. Nihil Spellbomb. Now that we want that. Pithing Needle, naming Cryptic Code is okay. Lose the Aid. Lose. God, I hate these Prosperity promo or Secret Lair versions. Is Long Goodbye good? It's not great. Cut an Etched Champ. Because our 2-drops are going to be perfectly fine here. Lose one of our swords. Actually, I like all of the swords better than Cranial Plating. Lose one Fatal Push. Well, we don't have Leyline, which is too bad. We do have double no more lives, so I think I'll keep this. Just really hope to dodge the turn 1 grief. Don't do it. Don't do it. Thank you. Okay. We're going to hold up counterspells. Alright, let's get our Godless Shrine. I think I'll play this bridge before I play Saga. I do want Saga to get me a Nihil Spellbomb. Swamp Cycling, sure. Persists. Let's counter that. Okay, there's the Etched Champ. That's good. I think I want to suspend Profane Tutor. Hold up my counter. Stoneforge Mystic. I think we'll counter that as well. You draw another Urza Saga. I think I just want to play my Etched Champion, though. Nothing. Okay. Here comes Profane Tutor. What do we want? Just a thoughtseize? More Etched Champions? Dovin's Veto? A sword? Maybe a sword? Okay, this is where you have to tap it for mana. Alright, let's make a construct. Okay, I just skipped through that last game. That was my problem. Oh, I should have got a... I got a 6/6. Let's play a sword. Attack for 2. Solitude can take out our construct. Sure. There's a troll. It's a 6/5. Sanctifier en-Vec. That's a good draw. Let's equip the sword. Let's attack. We'll do 2 damage to Solitude. And we'll draw a card. Nihil Spellbomb. Alright, let's grab... Just a basic swamp is fine. Play a Nihil Spellbomb. Pass. Alright, they're getting in for 6. Yep. Grief. Sure. Can make us discard one of our dudes. The Sanctifier, I'm guessing. Yep. Ephemerate it. Okay. Make us discard the Auriok Champion. Whatever. Make our construct. It's an 8/8. Let's get a Pithy Needle. Naming. Hey. I don't know. Flooded Strand. I don't know. Teferi Time Raveler. Well, it didn't give me a chance to make a construct. It didn't give me a chance to make a construct. So they don't even have Fatal Push mana available. What? Oh, I selected the wrong thing. I'm dumb. Playing like an idiot. Let's kill the grief. You're down to 1. Okay, they scoot. Alright, in spite of my best efforts, we still won that game. Cool. Protection coming in handy there. The Auriok champs are good. There's Solitude, eh? Maybe a Turok? Bringing the second Fatal Push. Nah, 1 Fatal Push is plenty. Like the champs there. We'll just cut. We'll go with 1 Teferi. That is a mulligan. Let's get a Leyline. No Leyline. Man. So sketchy. If I get griefed, I just lose. I think that's a mulligan as well. Alright, we're keeping this. Bottoming. Shadow Spear. And a land, I guess. And let's see if we get thoughtseize into oblivion. Very unfortunate draw. Grief persist. Satoru, the infiltrator. And or one or more non-token creatures into the battlefield under your control. If none of them were cast or no mana was spent, draw a card. Yep, this is why we want our Leyline. Now they take Rest in Peace or Fatal Push. Fatal Push. Auriok Champion. Well, I think that we can't play this rip fast enough. Teferi. Always yield. Play this. Play Rest in Peace again. Grief. Draw a card. This is exactly the kind of stuff we're supposed to not have happen to us. Tidebinder. Targeting the grief so that it doesn't go away. So, man, I already passed the chance to float mana with it. I'm not an Urza Saga player. Alright, we'll name Teferi. I just lose out on a mana there. But at least we have our Tidebinder active, or Etched Champion rather. So they can still attack with grief, and I can't block it. Prismatic Ending. Oh, he has menace also. Sure, why not? He doesn't look good enough. The prismatic ending, the pithy needle. Sanctifier en-Vec. Well, I think we want to cast that. Boy, what a disastrous draw this turned out to be. If only our opener had been a little better. So when I was initially playing this deck, I had Serum Powder in it, so that I could make sure I could always have my Nihil Spellbomb up. Or, to just maximize the chance of, like, drawing into the Leyline of Sanctity. But I took it out because it's so bad, like, other than when used in that capacity. Bouncing my Sanctifier, yep. Fairy's gone at least. And I don't think I can win from here. This is like the matchup where I absolutely need my Leyline. It'd be nice to be able to... I also tap my black mana, which I should have reserved for the Spell Bomb. Subtlety. And that's game. Boo, man. Game 1, total mana screw. Game 3, just like such bad draws, the first 3 draws. Ugh, horrible. Game 3, we're on the draw against Tres Dos Dos. Gigantha. So they're probably not a Leyline deck. I like this. We've got 2 artifact lands plus a sword plus Sigarda's Aid. I think that's a keep. This might be the Lookout matchup. Yeah, it looks like it. Wrenn in 6. Okay. So what do we do here? I think I want a thoughtseize. Freestrider, Fatal Push, Bolt. Alright, definitely taking the Freestrider. Yeah, this is the Freestrider deck. Then I think we'll... Bridge or Sigarda's Aid? Gotta bridge, because they do have a Bolt, unfortunately. Dryad. Thoughtseize. Okay. Fetch land. Let's thoughtseize. Bolt, fatal push, yada yada yada. We'll take the bolt. Let's play Sigarda's Aid. Let's fetch Swamp and push the Dryad. They pick up Gigantha. Leyline of Sanctity. Ooh, that'll be good. Alright, let's play our Etched Champion. Wrenn 6 is a pretty ridiculously powerful card. It's got to be the most powerful planeswalker. Gigantha, sure. Let's just grab a Hallowed Fountain. Alright, let's play our sword. Oh no, Sigarda's Aid targets. I forgot about that interaction. Okay, there shouldn't be Sigarda's Aid in this deck. I think I actually just need to block Gigantha? Yep, here come the Valakut triggers. Alright, this went all wrong, but this is the exact matchup the deck is designed to beat. So let's get our Confounding Conundrums. Let's get Pithing Needle number 2 for the One Ring and Wrenn 6. Anything else? Vanishing Verse can hit the Lookout or a Dryad. Cut a Champ. Long Goodbye is good. I like the Spell Bomb. I like the Welding Jar. Sigarda's Aid just shouldn't be in the deck, really. Because it can't equip the Etched Champion once it's online. Cranial Plating, I think maybe shouldn't be in the deck either. I'll cut to the Auriok Champions. Boy, I really want a Leyline in this matchup. I've got a thoughtseize. I've got a counterspell. I can't necessarily counter a turn 2 Wrenn 6 though. Give me a Leyline, please. No, there's a Confounding Conundrum though, but it's a one-lander. Oh. Alright, we're going to 5. This draw's terrible, but we're keeping. Bottom an artifact land and a fetch land. Oh man, this sucks. This is the matchup that I built the deck to try to not lose to. Green for pick your poison. Oh, just wait. Oh, you can make me sack my lands. Yep. Okay. Let's have a turn 2 Wrenn in 6. I don't think we can beat a turn 2 Wrenn in 6. Alright. We'll get a Godless Shrine, I guess. Alright. Let's go Urza Saga. Probably should have played Swamp there so I could hold up Vanishing Verse in case they look out. Beseiju my Urza Saga. Okay. I'll go for Hallowed Fountain, I guess. Alright, Sanctifier. Lookout. Sure. We have the answer for it. Alright, let's play a welding jar. Let's get rid of the lookout. Gonna bolt me. To get the extra trigger, of course. This should not be happening. This should not be happening. No. We're supposed to be stopping this. Let's attack Wrenn in 6, I guess. I don't know. I guess. I don't think we can win. We'll see. We'll need to get very lucky from here on out. Dryad. Valakut already online. Alright. Alright, so we utterly failed in that match. That's a shame. That's a real shame. Alright, match number 4 against Nowai. Nowai H will be on the play. No companion. Yeah, we've got 2 drops and a removal spell, so this is a keep. We're against Urza's Saga, which I think I'll just go ahead and destroy that now. Could be amulets. I think they're a deck that mirror pool. Alright, let's fetch our Godless Shrine. We can just fetch a Plains. Play an Auriok Champion. Crumbling Visage. Are they like Eldrazi? Explore. Okay. Arboreal Grazer. Yeah, it looks like they're Amulet. Welding Jar. Sanctifier en-Vec. Bridgeland. Welding Jar. Go. Now our Sagarda's Aid can't hit. Can't equip our Etched Champions. The One Ring. Another Arboreal Grazer. Well, I mean, we're just begging for a Titan here, so I don't know, like a thoughtseize might be good. They've got the Grazers for our attackers. But now, how about just more lands? There's the Amulet. Mycosynth Garden. Titan. Transmuting for a Summoner's Pact. Okay, so they have Titan in hand. So I really need to draw a thoughtseize like now. Leyline of Sanctity. Okay. We can concede. We're never gonna win this game in a million years. They've got the Titan in hand. They might be able to just lethal us with it on their turn. Probably not. But they also have the One Ring, and we've got basically nothing. So yeah, that's GG's. However, we do have board. We got our Confounding Conundrums. We got our Heliod's Intervention. Anything else that's good against them? Leyline does nothing. You know that. So maybe we just want Dovin's Vetoes. Maybe a Vanishing Verse. I don't know, Teferi. Our like pro-red, pro-black guys don't do anything. But our pro-white crew doesn't do anything either. It's really all about the Etched Champions here. We'll go for Vanishing Verse. I don't know. If they resolve a Titan, it's probably just game over. Alright, let's just see how this does. Fatal Push. We'll leave one in, I guess. Oh, Long Goodbye is a totally useless card. So Sigarda's Aid, we should be boarding that out. We've got Confounding Conundrum. We'll keep. Maybe we can do something. Turn 1 Amulet. Titan, Grazer, Explore. And they have a bounce land already. I guess I'll just take Explore so they don't get to draw a card. Well, we'll get to see if Confounding Conundrum is any good. Another Amulet. That's too late already, I think. Grazer, play the Gruul Turf again. Yeah, they top decked the second Amulet. So now they just get to play Titan right now. Okay. Good enough for me. Oh man, that was a brutal top deck. Oh gosh. We're on the play. Our tap land made it so that the Conundrum couldn't be played turn 2. Yikes. Alright, final game is about... Did someone just say bod? We'll be on the play. Look, we've got a Leyline. And we've got stuff we can do, so I'll keep this. play out some bridges. So we'll have a turn 3 Etched Champion turned on. We're not going to get griefed. We're not going to get thoughtseized. Wooded Foothills Pass. Okay. Play another bridge. Sacred Foundry. Tapped. Alright, not sure what's going on there, but I think Leyline is good against red decks, generally speaking. So let's go for... I don't want to shock. Just play our Etched Champion. Pro everything. Pro all colors. You talk like Gollum now? Nasty. Burns is... They just crack a Sunbaked Canyon for their turn. Okay. They have 8 cards in hand. They discard to hand size. Well, I was gonna thoughtseize, but I think I'll just play another Etched Champ. They've got to be a burn deck. Light up the stage. Bolts, mountain. No targets for the bolts. Yep, they're a burn deck, and the Lightland's totally shutting them down. Okay. I don't really feel like I'm under much pressure, so I'll thoughtseize. Oh, they've got a handful of burn spells. Let's take your Mishra's Bauble. I don't think I've ever thoughtseized a Mishra's Bauble before, but I think that's actually the most effective deck in the card in their hand right now. Hey, there's a DRC. Crack that Sunbaked Canyon. Alright, in response, we'll Fatal Push the DRC. Well, you don't have Boros Charm up. Get in with our dudes. There's a bauble. So they're prowess deck, but curiously lacking in prowess creatures. But we're going to get a sword and just finish him off on our turn. Let's DT our Sword of Fire and Ice. We draw another Etched Champion. Equip it. Yep. Okay. So, this is a good matchup. Do we just want more pro-red creatures? Probably. Why not? Is there anything we don't need? Thoughtseize, maybe? Cut a couple of Thoughtseize. I could bring in the Heliod's Intervention. Actually, they're a Lava Dart deck, so maybe I want some Rest in Peace. Cut my Thoughtseizes. Cut the Sword of Feast and Famine. And we will mulligan for a Leyline if we need to. Yeah, let's mulligan that for sure. We've got a Sanctifier and a Fatal Push. I think we actually keep this one. We also have a sword. We'll bottom this swamp. Fetch land. All right. I guess I'm just gonna swamp Fatal Push the DRC. Pithing Needle probably should be boarded out. Slick Shot. Another removal spell? No. Pass. So we'll see how bad it is this turn. Another Slick Shot. Can I draw a Fatal Push? Urza Saga. Alright, so now I need to grab a Plains. Play my Sanctifier. Not sure what I would name with a Pithing Needle. Arid Mesa? Sunbaked Canyon? This doesn't really have good targets. I guess I'll just need Sunbaked Canyon. Swifty. Swifty can't attack. Wow, that's a pretty anemic offense there. Play the bridge, play the sword. Boros charm my face. So this is a lot of damage. Skewer. That's actually lethal right there, right? Yep. Yep, that's too bad. That's why we need the ley line. Maybe we'll bring in Heliod's intervention. We don't need the pithing needle. That really ought to be good. We just need our ley line. I mean, we're on the play. We don't have a turn 2 Sanctifier because of our tap lands. But we do have a Shadow Spear and an Etched Champion. We just need to survive a little bit. You know what? I want a ley line. Mulligan. There we go. Boom. Keep. Bottom. Welding jar. Ley line. I think I'll just hold up no more lies. Actually, I should have played the Spell Bomb, because that would give me another artifact towards Etched Champion having protection. Alright, we'll just counter this Slick Shot. Is it plotted or is it... Oh, it's exiled because of the counterspell. We missed our land drop, which sucks. Alright, Nihil Spell Bomb. Slick Shot being plotted. Lava darting themselves. for some reason. Just to get it in their graveyard. You draw another Etched Champion. Lighting up the stage. Do they have one plotted? Okay. Land number 3. Let's get a plains. Etched Champion. Yes, they do have one plotted. They're lava dotting themselves to prowess it up. So we're going to take a whole heap of damage here. Bolting themselves. Double strike. Boo, we actually lose. It's an 11-2 double strike. Man. Ugh. Ridiculous. Okay, so that was a straight 0-5 with Esper Protection Control. And we won a couple of games. We didn't get totally swept. But still a somewhat disappointing performance. I have to say, I think we got very unlucky. I think that, like, there were a couple matches where we're favored. Like against that Lookout deck. We absolutely can win that matchup. And against Burn as well in that very last match. We can win those matchups. We just got really, really terrible draws. And in some cases, our opponents got good draws. But mostly our draws just were not good. And therefore, we lost. I really like the concept of the deck. I really like Etched Champion as a threat that is like unremovable and can get in there with swords and whatnot. And I like the Sanctifiers and the Auriok Champions too. So there probably should be 24 lands in the deck. We did get mana screwed a couple of times. I think given how weighted we are towards like 3 drops, I mean our mana value is averaging like 2.1, so you'd think 23 would be enough. But I think we want to err on the side of caution and just run 24. I think also there are too many tap lands. Like, we did get penalized a couple of times for having these 8 always tap lands. And these artifact lands, they also, like, are vulnerable. There's a lot of cards that that don't target, but make you sacrifice stuff. Like, Pick Your Poison doesn't target, but makes you sacrifice stuff. And it can make you sacrifice these lands, which, although they're indestructible, they can still be sacrificed. Also, you know, like Sheoldred's Edict doesn't target and can make you sacrifice creatures and stuff. So Leyline of Sanctity, as good as it is, isn't a be-all, end-all protection. We also just, like, didn't find Leyline of Sanctity when we needed to. As I mentioned during the matches, when I was first playing this deck, I had some Serum Powders in the deck. I think the deck wants Serum Powder. Like, you want to be able to get the ley lines in your opener in the matchups where they're good. So I think if I play this deck again, I'm going to play this deck again because I think it's cool. I think it can work. I think the concept is sound. Next time I play it, I'm adding these Serum Powders back in. And I'm going up to 24 lands. I'm going to cut some of the bridges and probably go up to the full Urza's Saga playset. This is just such a good card. Urza's Saga. Like, it's not our primary plan, whatever, but, you know, it can't just win the game on its own. We've seen it happen time and time again. We've got plenty of, like, artifacts on the battlefield to beef up the constructs. So we're going to lean more heavily into Urza's Saga in the next build. We're going to add the Serum Powders. We're going to add land number 24. Yeah, I like the Profane Tutors. Like, there's always an argument to be made for, like, adding, like, some preordains or something. Maybe instead of No More Lies, we could add preordain. We're more of a tap-out type deck, really. I don't know how often we want to be, you know, in the dark, holding up mana to cast counterspells. More likely than not, our preference is to, like, thoughtseize and remove stuff and play our threats and just go forward. So probably more reactive pieces like the counterspells should be relegated to the sideboard. And in the main board, we could add just 2 preordain. That wouldn't be a bad inclusion. You know, that's a great card that can help us find our pieces. It would be a good addition to the 2 Profane Tutors. So yeah, Serum Powder, 24 lands. Swap out No More Lives, probably for preordain. We discovered some anti-synergy. The Sigarda's Aid, when our Etched Champions are turned on, it doesn't allow, like, the protection of the Etched Champions means that Sigarda Aid can't equip them, which means this card is not worth running at all. I think with those changes, the deck would be a lot better. We unfortunately did not get to see the efficacy of Confounding Conundrum. We didn't draw it in our match against the Lookout, which is where we wanted it. And we did draw it against Amulet Titan, but we drew a tap land. We weren't able to play it on turn 2. And our opponent proceeded to combo off with 2 amulets and like play a Primeval Titan on turn 2. So when the Titan deck nuts off like that, it's pretty hard to beat. However, I wonder what a Confounding Conundrum would have done there. Could we have won that game if we had been able to play Confounding Conundrum on turn 2 because we didn't have tap lands? I wonder. I still feel like this is a good sideboard card against the Valakut decks and against Amulet Titan, which I haven't seen in a while, but is still a very incredibly good deck, as we saw, and is something that will crop up from time to time. I don't know about the pro-white plan. The Phyrexian Crusaders being infect creatures, I think it's a little weird to have, like, both infect and non-infect creatures in the same list. I do like the idea of having some pro-white guys in the sideboard, but maybe a couple of Turoks would be sufficient to fulfill that role. And in matchups where we aren't facing red and black removal, we just board out these guys, bring in a couple of Turoks, and, like, some more removal or something. A little more removal in the sideboard would be good. But yeah, I think it's a fun concept, and I really want to play it again. I'm disappointed by this 05. We did win a couple of games. We didn't get totally swept. But I have every confidence that this deck can be much better than it performed tonight, and I'm going to play it again. You will see it again on the channel in a more refined form with the changes that I've gone through tonight. So, unfortunately, we didn't get there with Esper Protection Tribal. Our ley lines failed us in our hour of need. But we'll be back with more protection than ever, and we will perform better in the next league. Oh, I don't know about Cranial Plating. We never actually played it, but it's just a win more card. You know, we're more interested in pieces that will get us to our end game state where we have our protected creature with a piece of equipment. This would be better off as probably just another sword, maybe another Sword of Fire and Ice. Yeah, or just like another removal spell. I don't know. Something other than this card, which is just a win more. Anyway, that's going to do it for tonight for Esper Protection Control, and I hope you enjoyed it. I know I enjoyed playing it despite the poor record. I look forward to the future of this archetype. It's not even an archetype, this concept, and you'll see it again. And if you want to support me and off-meta, off-kilter MTG content, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Hope to see you in the next MTG vid. Have a good night.